What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to LTH. My name is Abe, and as you guys know, this is Rich. You've seen him in some of our other Meshtastic / radio testing videos. But in today's video, we'll show a close-up of this here in a second. But this is just a Seed Studio ZAO NRF 52840. And so we're going to show you how you can turn these little $13 boards into your own Meshtastic or Meshcore device by putting it together and some other parts, which will show up here close in a second. But we did the math, and essentially you can build this radio for about $25 up to $30. We have something like the L1 Pro, which is about $60, or something like the SenseCap T1, which is around $40. So let's get a close-up of all our parts, and Rich can go over them with you, and then we'll show you putting it together and doing a little bit of soldering.
So we got the ZAO board. Is that what you're
they're like ZAO boards.
Okay.
They're essentially like I think that one's like the RF50820. The letters on there, it's kind of small, but essentially that's going to be what has the Bluetooth to connect to our phone, power, and then there is a little like 1260 antenna below that where you have this little antenna that actually comes off of it. It's going to essentially just be like the motherboard we're going to use for the setup. Again, these go for about $14.
Excellent. Then we got a 300 milliamp hour battery, 300 milliamp hour battery.
Yep.
So 3.7 volts, 300 milliamp hours. This came out to $5.99.
Yep, and that should make this thing actually go for like potentially a couple days, especially because we don't have a screen on there. So
then I believe this one was 900 megahertz.
Yeah, so Meshtastic, Meshcore, Halo, all that go in that 500 or 915 megahertz LoRa range within the United States, or it's like 868 in Europe and some other places. So yep, that's just a bigger antenna we got. And just like as an example from a different radio, you can see that this antenna has a lot more of a size, or like it is bigger in general than the other one. So it'll be interesting to see when we do some connection testing with these, what it's going to look like. And then lastly, we just have a 3D printed case, and we're going to put them in this, but you could use whatever. Another thing that I thought of is trying to print something or find out if there's like a Picatinny rail holder for these radios, to like mount inside of trucks or on weapons or whatever. But we're going to go ahead and show you guys how to use this Seed ZAO board for the purpose of putting together your own Meshtastic radio on a budget, and where you would solder the battery on, connect the radio, all that inside of whatever container you decide to put them in. And again, all these links will be linked down below in the description. Okay guys, so we pulled them apart, and you can see this is the ZAO board with the USB-C part on it to not get them confused. And on the bottom of this, you will see right there on your left or your right side, I can't remember, but it's right here in the middle. There's two gold pads, and it says battery negative and battery positive. That is where we are going to solder on our battery terminals for our negative and positive. And so again, to not get confused, we are not soldering onto the antenna board. We are soldering the battery onto the ZAO board. Okay guys, so right here we have the battery negative on the top and the battery positive on the bottom, and they're just right there on the right side. So hopefully that's a pretty clear view for you guys to see it. And now we are going to go ahead and prime these with some solder. So we'll have Rich kind of just go over what you need to do for that, because these are just blank gold pads at the moment. When you're trying to set pads, it's good to try to pull the heat through, like from one side to the other. So like if you're doing a wire, you should actually have the heat source on the bottom and then the flux on the top. Oh, that one did really good. And then pull through. In this case, he's kind of putting the solder on the left side and the heat of the iron on the right side of the pad to try to pull that across. And we'll show a close-up of this once we get these primed.
Yeah, in soldering, one of the big things you want to remember is solder loves to flow to heat. So that's one of the reasons why Abe is saying you want to have the heat go through the item, so you want to do it from the other side. So that's the same in any soldering application. If you're doing household plumbing, you want that solder to flow to the heat, so you don't want to have the heat right where you want things to be joined. You want to have a little bit further away, so that way that solder will flow through. Here we have the 300 milliamp hour battery, so we want to go ahead and prep this. What you definitely do not want to do with these two wires is take your snips and go straight across both. This is a lithium battery, so it will give you a nice little pop if you do that. So try to be careful of that. Just do one side at a time. So I'm going to go ahead and kill the positive on that, and then chop the negative. You do have the option of putting a button or a switch. In fact, we have a switch that we can show you that we did pick up. I'm opting not to do a switch in my setup. I'm just going to have a live battery on it the whole time. I'm going to place this in my vehicle, so this thing is going to get charged every single time I drive. I drive every day, so I've got no qualms about the fact that this is going to get charged up daily. But if you're somebody who wants to throw it in a backpack, maybe have it for later on use, you're not going to have it charging all the time, you're probably going to want to throw a switch on this so you can disconnect the battery from the board. And these are those little 3 selector switches that we picked up off Amazon. And Abe, these came out to like what, 30 cents a pop?
Yeah, pretty much 30 cents a pop.
They did make me buy 20 of them.
Yeah, you'll have plenty. You'll have plenty for all your projects.
Yeah, tons of projects. More room for activities.
So what I'm going to do is hold the wire over that positive solder point. I have a little bit of solder on my soldering iron as well. And then, with the best I can, I'm going to try to push through. And just like that, we're soldered on, and there's solder going over the complete wire itself. So it's nice and covered. You want to really make sure that you have the solder going over the whole wire and across, but also that you don't have your solder touching your negative and positive pads together, because then you'll get a short, right? So this looks like it's soldered on. Solder goes all the way over the top, so we'll be good to go with that.
All right, so we got our little 3 selector switch here. Abe probably has the ability to throw up a diagram of how this works. So the center post is going to be our common between the 3. So if we have the switch all the way to what is my left here, these 2 posts will engage each other, leaving this post free. And if we switch all the way to the other side, these 2 posts will engage, leaving this 3rd member down here free. So we've taken a big Sharpie and we've marked what's going to be our on. So we're going to use these 2 posts. So what we want to do is go positive, positive here, and that will complete our circuit when we switch it on.
So right now we're just adding solder to all 3 of those posts, and they do have a hole in the middle to like push a wire through. Okay, and so now we're going to heat up from one side and then use the wire on the other side to just grab onto those posts after they've now been pre-soldered. Okay guys, so what we actually ended up doing, which is probably what these are designed to do to begin with, is there's a hole in it and then we pre-soldered it, we heated it up, and then we just pushed the wire through.
Okay, so we're going to start with where the wires are coming off the battery. So we've clipped the end. When you get this battery, it comes with a little proprietary connector. It's probably not proprietary. It was pretty common when I was looking these up. So this was snipped off, so we've gotten rid of that. We had bare wire. So from that bare wire, we're going directly to the negative on the board from the battery. Positive, what we did is we're using a little piece of wire out of a Cat 5. It just happens to be what was laying around. We're going from the positive to the common post on the switch. We already talked a little bit earlier about what the common post was going to be.
So it's that middle post. So there's 3 posts on the bottom of the switch. The common post is the middle post.
From that common, we're choosing what side is going to be our on side. We went ahead and marked that with a Sharpie. It's going to be hard to see, but there is a line that is going to be quote unquote on versus off. So we have the switch in off mode right now. When we move the switch to on, it's going to connect that common post to the positive side of the battery, thus completing our circuit.
Right, so when it's pushed all the way over to the left right now, right, the middle and the far left posts are connected via the button right there. There we go, via the button, but the far right post isn't connected, right? So this switch only has 2 wires touching at a time. So since it's only touching the middle wire right now, it can't complete the circuit. So when you push that wire all the way to the right, now our circuit is complete via the middle and the far right wire. Okay, and so before we turn the switch on, he's touching the positive part of the battery and the negative part of the battery right now. And we're seeing positive voltage right there in our multimeter, so we know nothing's flipped. So we're good to flip that on. We know the polarity is not messed up, the voltage is low enough, and we should be on. So now if you test right there at the device, the power should be going through that positive through the switch to the board. Okay guys, so now that the switch is on and we have good connections, we can see that we're getting power to the board through that on and off switch. So you have a positive and negative, and the voltage is showing correctly. So we know that this is all wired up. I hope that makes sense. Essentially, like what I'm saying here, let me undo this. Okay, of course I dropped the mic, but what we have going on here with this switch, it's off right now, but we have the positive going through our little switch, right? And so that positive power can't go through our orange cable until the switch is on, and then we have the negative off the battery. So when I switched this on, in the previous clip you saw, when we had our 2 terminals testing on those connections, the power did make it through the switch and into the board, and that's why we got a positive reading at the board. So I hope that makes sense on how that is all connected. But now that it turns on, we can check it on our phone via Bluetooth to make sure that we can see this device.
All right, everybody, so we got our Meshtastic device. You already saw the part where we soldered everything up. So you can see that in its hole sitting right here. So we got battery, we got the switch, we got the Meshtastic, and then we have the antenna. So we got this wonderful little housing that was printed up by Abe. Abe, I do believe, did you get this as like a free downloadable?
Yeah, so I found that on Thingiverse. It'll be down in the description. A guy created that, not me, so...
And you can see it's compartmentalized exactly as it was described online, so you can just fit this whole thing right in there. The cool thing, the Meshtastic device, when you get it in the mail, is going to come with a little piece of foam. We're actually going to go ahead and utilize this little piece of foam. My entire goal is to have this powered in my vehicle, and so it's going to be bouncing around. I'm going to go off-roading. It's going to be just jostling around. So I want to see if by utilizing this foam, I can help the Meshtastic device last a little bit longer. So on this, I've already trimmed the foam down just a little bit. We're going to stick this down in the area where the Meshtastic device itself is going to sit. So we got that down in there. Now the pins actually have like a nice padded area to sit on, and it won't jumble around as much. So something to watch out for when you're putting everything back together here is the USB-C is going to be pointed out this side of the case. But the problem is I need this switch to be at this side of the case. So we actually did this wrong. We're going to pull this apart, and we're going to move the wires out the other side. Now, we still need the USB-C to be pointed in the direction it is. It's just the wires that have to move.
Okay, so right there where that hole is, if you can see, the hole's circular, but there is like an octagon shape for that screw or like the head of the antenna adapter to sit in there. So when you tighten it from the outside, it's not just going to twist in there all loose. It'll actually get tight.
All right, we've got the outside post for the antenna secured into place. That leaves us the connecting side to the board. All right, so we've got the new antenna hooked up, or I would say the more robust antenna is now hooked up. So we can start trying to finagle everything into place. So I'm gonna go ahead and just start figuring out how we want things to sit. So we're gonna get the board in first, just to see where everything sits. I can see that I'm going to want this battery to come out the other side as I'm putting this in. So we'll make that small adjustment. All right, with just a little bit of finagling, we got the board in place. USB-C down at the bottom. There's our antenna connector. You can see the battery has its nice own little compartment. To get this antenna cable in here correctly, it was much longer than what we anticipated. So the antenna cable actually wraps around the outside of the battery and comes back through and connects to the board. And that's where the excess cable is gone. And now we're in the perfect spot. Everything is all set up, so we will put on the outside. Okay guys, so it's been a couple days, but we needed to get another battery for the radio. So this is what it looks like when you're all said and done. Obviously this is a really big antenna to do as much testing as possible with for the most amount of distance, but you could put any kind of antenna. You could mount this in anything and have an antenna go to the outside of your truck, vehicle, building, whatever, if you really wanted to. But this is a little package that we built for around $25 versus $40, $50, $60. You know, you can stick with the little cheap antenna and just the device for $13, or just print it and put it in something and not do anything fancy. So you can get into Meshtastic or Meshcore super cheap, but that's the build for you guys. We have plenty of videos on our channel of testing Meshtastic and Meshcore, where we've even got over 40 miles of different distance between nodes. So let me know what you guys think about this down in the comments and if you're going to build one yourself.
Thank you for watching. My name is Abe, signing off with another video.